She showed up for work. She never walked through the doors. August 2nd, 2017. Bonefish Grill. 10950 San Jose Boulevard, Jacksonville, Florida. Savannah Gold was 21. She had a shift. People expected her to be there. When she didn't show up, it wasn't she overslept. It was instant panic. Her family and friends started searching that same day. Then one detail hit like a punch. Savannah's car was still in the parking lot. If she came to work, why was the car there? But Savannah wasn't. They got closer. The car was unlocked. Her belongings were inside. Her purse was still there. That doesn't look like someone choosing to disappear. Then they saw the tire. Damaged. Police suspected it was deliberate. Now there was no clean explanation. Not she left. Not she took a ride. Not she quit and ran away. Because the car didn't move. And Savannah didn't come back for it. Then the messages started hitting phones. Texts from Savannah's number. They said she was running away. Quitting her job. Leaving town. The messages were sloppy. Errors. Wrong tone. Wrong rhythm. Her family didn't recognize her voice in those words. So they did the only thing that made sense. They reported her missing immediately. At first, detectives had a disappearing adult. There is no body. No crime scene tape. No obvious suspect. Just a car left behind like a question mark. Then the case shifted. Because Bonefish Grill had cameras. And cameras don't forget. Detectives received CCTV from the parking lot. It showed Savannah arriving. It showed her walking across the lot. Then it showed her getting into a silver car. The car starts moving. Then it starts shaking. Violently. The door jerks open. Pulled shut. Open again. Shut again. 3 times. That is not a normal conversation inside a car. That looks like someone fighting to get out. Then the car drives out of the lot. Savannah is never seen again. Now the case isn't missing. It's taken. And the next step is obvious. Whose car was that? Detectives tracked it fast. Police suspected the silver car belonged to Rodarte Jr., a manager at that same Bonefish Grill. A coworker. Someone Savannah knew. The kind of person who could get her to step into a vehicle without setting off alarms. Police suspected the relationship went beyond coworkers. He claimed they had gotten close. He claimed they had been seeing each other. And that matters because trust is the doorway. If Savannah trusted him, she wouldn't need to look over her shoulder. She wouldn't need to hesitate. She'd just get in. And she did. Now detectives had a tight lane to run down. They had the last known moment on video. They had a car. They had a name. And they had those strange texts trying to steer the story away from the parking lot. Police suspected someone used Savannah's phone to fake a runaway narrative. A quick lie to slow down the search. To buy hours. To buy distance. To buy time to clean up. Detectives didn't need to prove everything yet. They only needed one thing next. Get Lee in a room. Get him talking. Because if he was the driver, he was the last person connected to her. And if he lied, the lies would stack up. Lee was brought in. He was put in an interrogation room. He was told it was for something small. A warrant. Something unimportant. The goal was simple. Keep him calm. Keep him talking. Let him believe he's there for a minor issue. Then bring in the detectives who already know the timeline. He sat there, waiting. Minutes turning into an hour. His mind filled the silence. Because when you're innocent, waiting is annoying. When you're guilty, waiting is torture. Then the door finally opened. And the detective who walked in wasn't a stranger. It was the same detective who had interviewed him days earlier about Savannah. That moment matters. Because the traffic warrant mask drops right there. Now Lee knows exactly what this is. This is Savannah. This is the parking lot. This is the silver car. And Lee still thinks he can outtalk it. He still thinks he's smarter than what they have. He has no idea how much video can say without making a sound. So he starts building his version. A long version. A padded version. A version with extra details that sound like truth. He claimed he hadn't talked to Savannah in weeks. Then he adjusted. He claimed he did see her recently. He claimed he met her in the parking lot. And that's where detectives wanted him. Right at the edge of the footage. Close enough to hang himself with his own story. Because once a person commits a lie, they have to protect it. And protecting it means adding more lies. And those lies are exactly what detectives use. In that room, the question was no longer, "Did you know Savannah?" That was already answered. The real question was the one that makes every guilty person panic. Where did you go after she got into your car? Because Savannah never walked into Bonefish Grill that day. She walked into a silver car. The car shook. The door flew open. It slammed shut again. And then the car drove away. With Savannah inside. Lee Rodarte Jr. gets brought in. Handcuffs. Interrogation room. He's told it's minor. An unimportant warrant. A setup. Police suspected the moment he believed that lie, he'd start talking like a man who thought he had control. They sit him down. Have a seat. I'll be right back. Then they leave him. Not for 5 minutes. About 90 minutes. Silence does work. The longer you sit alone, the louder your own thoughts get. If you're innocent, you get irritated. If you're hiding something, your brain starts writing worst-case endings. Then the door opens again. And the detective who walks in isn't new. It's the same one who spoke with him days earlier about Savannah. That changes everything. Now Lee knows this isn't about a traffic issue. This is Savannah. This is the parking lot. This is the silver car. The detective goes calm and casual. Fill me in. How long have you known Savannah? A simple question. A normal person answers it in one sentence. Lee doesn't. He launches into a story. He claimed he'd known her through work. He claimed they started hanging out outside work months earlier. He claimed he had a girlfriend at the time. He claimed he and Savannah connected. He keeps talking. He adds details nobody asked for. He describes hanging out at home, drinking beers, watching movies. He brings up drugs. He claims Savannah was using drugs heavily. He claimed both of them used drugs a couple times. He claimed he backed away because it got heavy. Then he claimed later she looked healthy again. He claimed they hung out again. This is the pattern detectives look for. A short question. A long answer. Too much detail. Too much shaping. Then the detectives steer the conversation to a pressure point. Because Lee had already said something earlier, something that didn't match what detectives had. So they circle back. Last time you texted her? Lee answers quickly. He claimed it was 2 to 3 weeks ago. Sometime in July. He repeats it. Text. Phone call. Messenger. Anything. 2 to 3 weeks. Then the next question lands. When was the last time you saw her? And Lee suddenly shifts. I didn't tell you the truth. That's the crack. Because now he knows his earlier answer is dangerous. He pivots. He claimed the last time he saw her was Wednesday afternoon, the day she vanished. He claimed it was around 5:30 in the Bonefish parking lot. Now detectives have him placing himself at the scene. He's no longer weeks away. He's there, right where Savannah was last known to be. Then Lee tries to build a reason. A motive that sounds like a normal argument. He claimed Savannah had been telling people at work they were together. He claimed it was jeopardizing his job. He claimed he confronted her. And then he adds a detail that paints Savannah in a certain light. He claimed Savannah asked to sit in his car because she had just done heroin and felt paranoid. That detail matters because it's convenient. It explains why she'd be in his car. It gives him an excuse for privacy. It also tries to make her look unstable. But detectives don't get distracted by character attacks. They track movement. They track logic. They track what must be true for his story to work. Lee keeps going. He claimed he told her to stop talking about them. He claimed she refused. He claimed he got angry. Then he says the thing that lines up too neatly with the scene outside. He claimed he punched a hole in her tire. He claimed he threatened her. Next time it'll be worse. Then he claimed Savannah got out of his car with her phone in her hand and started walking toward the entrance. That's the key lie. Because detectives already believe Savannah never walked away. Police suspected the moment he said, she got out. He was trying to place her alive and moving. Because if she's moving away from him, he's safer. So Lee adds a new character. He claimed a green Ford pickup drove up. Tinted windows. A baseball cap. He claimed Savannah got into that truck 5 minutes after using her phone. He claimed the truck looped around and left. And then he claimed he left too. The detectives pounce on the timing. So if she called somebody, they got there in 5 minutes? Lee hesitates. He tries to keep it vague. He tries to keep it flexible. Because flexible lies are harder to pin down. But the detectives don't let it breathe. They ask the simplest, most devastating question. Why didn't you mention this before? Because if a missing girl got picked up by a mysterious truck, that's not a detail you forget. That's a detail you scream to the police. Lee tries to explain it away. He claimed he freaked out. He claimed he was scared because he thought he was the last one to see her. Then he catches himself. Because his own words contradict his truck story. Detectives force him to feel that contradiction out loud. Starts to backpedal. He tries to reframe. He tries to say he meant the last one at Bonefish. But the damage is done. In that moment, his story looks less like memory and more like construction. Then detectives slide in another pressure point. His neck. They ask about marks. Lee answers fast. He claimed it was self-inflicted. He claimed he used a knife. He claimed it happened in July. He claimed it reopened at work. Detectives seem to notice his anxiety spike. His body gets restless. Legs moving. Hands fidgeting. The story keeps changing. And every change is a signal. Because the room is doing what it's built to do. It's closing the exits. If Savannah left with a green truck, why didn't he say that immediately? If he punched her tire, why would her car still be there with her belongings inside? If she walked away with her phone, why were strange "I'm running away" texts sent later? The detectives don't have to shout. They just have to keep him talking. Because the longer he talks, the more he has to maintain. And maintaining a lie takes energy. Energy becomes panic. Panic becomes mistakes. And mistakes become the path to the truth. Lee sticks to the truck story. Green pickup. Tinted windows. Baseball cap. Savannah gets in. Then she leaves. That's his escape hatch. One problem. Detectives don't sound like they're buying it. They keep him boxed in with simple questions. Same topic. Same loop. Same pressure. They don't argue. They don't debate. They make him repeat the lie until it starts collapsing under its own weight. Then the tone changes. They stop letting him narrate. They start telling him what they already know. A detective hits him with the line that changes everything. We have proof. We have a video. Now Lee isn't storytelling anymore. Now he's reacting. Because he's been guessing the whole time. Guessing what they have. Guessing what they saw. Guessing what they can prove. And guessing is deadly in a room like this. He tries to keep his voice steady. He keeps saying he wants to help. He keeps saying he wants her found. But every time he says, "I don't know," the room tightens. Then the female detective steps in. She's been quieter. Watching him. Letting him talk. Now she changes the temperature. She tells him the core point straight. Savannah never got out of that car. No green truck. No 5-minute pickup. No looping around the plaza. She says it plainly. She says it like a fact. And she pushes it deeper. That door didn't fly open because Savannah was casually leaving. She kicked it. Multiple times. Trying to get out. That detail matters because it matches what the camera showed. Violent movement, repeated door action, then the car leaving. Lee's eyes shift. His hands move. His body tries to find an exit that isn't there. The female detective doesn't attack. She pleads. She uses words designed to break the mask. Be human. You're a man. I know you're not that cruel inside. She tells him she doesn't hate him. She says she's there to find facts. Then she asks the question that corners every version of his story. Where did you go with her? He tries to dodge. He tries to say he doesn't know where she is. Detectives push harder. They point out the contradiction. He said the truck took her. But detectives say she never got out of his car. He can't hold both. Not anymore. Then Lee tries a new path. Half admission. He claimed Savannah was upset. He claimed she slapped him. He claimed he slapped her back. He claimed she tried to get out. He claimed he grabbed her around the waist to stop her. He's now admitting physical force. That's a major shift. Because earlier he tried to paint himself as the guy who argued, punched a tire, and watched her leave. Now he's placing his hands on her. Now he's admitting violence. Not "I raised my voice." Not "I walked away." He claimed he restrained her. He claimed he controlled whether she could leave. Then he says the line detectives don't let slide. He claimed she calmed down. He claimed they left together. That's the pivot. Because it puts Savannah still in his car when it leaves the lot. And that fits the camera better than the truck fantasy. Detectives press the logic. Why would she leave with you after that? Lee tries to normalize it. He claims they argued before. He claims she said she didn't care what happened. He tries to make it sound like a messy relationship moment, not a crime. Detectives cut through that fast. They bring it back to one thing: closure. Family. A missing 21-year-old who didn't come home. They don't ask for poetry. They ask for a location. They ask for the truth. They ask for the part he's avoiding. Because the story of "we argued and drove off" only raises one terrifying question. If you drove off with Savannah, where did she go after that? And why did she never come back? The female detective keeps the emotional pressure high. She repeats the same point. She never got out of the car. No truck. No pickup. No mystery stranger. Just him. Just Savannah. Just that silver car leaving. Lee keeps trying to hold the line. He keeps saying he didn't do anything. But he's already moved too far. He admitted the slap. He admitted the grab. He admitted she tried to get out. He admitted they left together. Now detectives are at the edge of the confession. Because once he admits she left with him, he has to explain what happened next. And there are only two reasons a missing person leaves in a suspect's car and never returns. It's a posit. They were taken somewhere and released. Or they were taken somewhere and killed. Detectives steer him right to that fork. They talk about mistakes. They talk about doing the right thing afterward. They talk about how people will remember him. Not as a monster, as a man who finally told the truth. The female detective begs again. Just the location. Just the truth. Because Savannah's family needs her back. Lee goes quiet. He starts talking in shorter bursts now. Less storytelling. More fragments. He's running out of room. And the moment he realizes the truck lie is dead, his remaining options shrink down to one final question. If she never got out of your car, then where is she? The room goes quiet after the pressure hits. No more green truck. No more she walked away. No more easy exit. Detectives push one point over and over. She never got out of your car. Lee sits there with nowhere to place her. Because once Savannah leaves that parking lot inside his vehicle, the story can only end one of two ways. She comes back. Or she doesn't. And she didn't. The detectives stop asking him to explain every detail. They narrow it down to one thing. A location. They tell him the family needs closure. They tell him the search is real. They tell him the longer he holds it back, the worse it gets. Lee tries to hang on to the last thread. He keeps repeating he didn't do anything. He keeps saying he doesn't know where she is. But the detectives keep cutting him off. They don't let him hide behind "I don't know." They keep pointing to the same reality. Savannah was in your car. She never got out. You drove away. So tell us where she is. That's when Lee shifts again. His words get smaller. His confidence drains. And he starts leaning into a new story. Not the truck. Not the tire. Not the she left. Now it becomes a fight. He claims Savannah was hitting him. He claimed she wouldn't stop. He claimed he reacted. He claimed he squeezed back. Detectives jump on the language. Squeezed what? Squeezed where? Now the room is no longer about whether he was involved. Now it's about what he did with his hands. They push him. They keep it blunt. Did you squeeze her around the neck? Lee doesn't step away from it. He claimed it was around her neck. He claimed she just wouldn't let go. He claimed he didn't let go. That's the moment the story becomes lethal. Because nobody squeezes someone's neck by accident. That's not a shove. That's not a slap. That's not a panicked flail. That's control. Pressure. A decision that lasts longer than a second. Detectives don't celebrate. They don't raise their voices. They press the only thing that matters now. Where is she? Because a confession without a body still leaves a family trapped. Because closure isn't a word. It's a place. A recovery. A return. Lee hesitates. Then he answers. He gives them a location. He points them toward water. He claimed she was in a pond. And claimed it was on the west side near a place he called Club du Clay. He claimed Longchamp as part of the area. The detectives repeat it back to him. They make him confirm it. Because once a suspect gives a location, it becomes a test. If the location is real, it proves he knows something only the killer would know. If the location is fake, it proves he's still playing games. Either way, the next move is immediate. A team goes out. A search starts. Water is not forgiving. Ponds hide things. They swallow evidence. They distort time. But divers don't search water like people search land. They grit it. They go slow. They feel the bottom. They work blind, inch by inch. And within days, investigators recover remains from a pond. Investigators believe the remains were Savannah. The case shifts from missing person to murder in full. Not suspicion. Not theory. Not maybe she ran. Now it has weight. Now it has a place where she was left. Now it has a suspect who led them there. Back in the interrogation room, Lee's earlier story looks worse with every second. The runaway texts look staged. The green truck looks invented. The tire damage looks like a setup. And the whole point becomes obvious. Delay the search. Buy time. Make Savannah's disappearance look like her choice instead of his action. Detectives don't need him to say every word perfectly. They need the core truth. Savannah got into his car. She fought to get out. She didn't make it. And he disposed of her in water. That's what makes this case hit so hard. It didn't happen in some hidden cabin. It didn't start in the woods. It started in a workplace parking lot where people clock in, say hello, and trust the faces they recognize. Police suspected Lee believed his story would outsmart the evidence. But the video boxed him in. And once he realized the footage existed, his lies couldn't stand. They cracked. Then they collapsed. And when he finally gave a location, the case stopped being a mystery and became a recovery. A family that had been chasing texts and silence now had the worst kind of answer. And the man sitting in that room wasn't just a coworker anymore. He was the last person who had Savannah alive. And now, the person who led detectives to where she was left behind. Once Lee gave detectives a location, the case stopped being a search. It became a recovery. Investigators found Savannah's remains in the water he pointed them to. From there, the story he tried to sell early on, runaway texts, vague excuses, a mystery truck, collapsed into one hard truth. Savannah never went home. And the last person with her was the man who worked beside her. Lee's legal strategy shifted over time. He claimed he acted in self-defense during a struggle. He claimed it wasn't planned. But the court didn't accept that as a shield. A judge denied his stand-your-ground attempt to avoid prosecution. That denial mattered. because it meant the case stayed on track for trial. Then, years after Savannah disappeared, Lee took a deal. February 18, 2021, Lee Rodarte pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in Savannah Gold's killing. The agreement was clear. He would receive 40 years in Florida State Prison. March 11, 2021, a judge formally sentenced him. No dramatic twist ending. No surprise second suspect. No, she ran away. Just a young woman who went to work and never got the chance to walk inside. And a workplace connection that turned deadly. Police suspected the texts sent from Savannah's phone were part of the cover story, messages meant to stall her family and slow the search. That's what makes this case stick in your throat. It wasn't a stranger in the dark. It was someone close enough to be trusted. Close enough to be ordinary. Close enough to be the last person she ever sat beside. And in the end, the time bought by those messages couldn't outrun the camera footage, the interrogation pressure, and the location he finally gave up. Thank you for watching this episode of Silent Evidence, True Crime Exposed. If you found this story compelling, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Join us next time as we explore another chilling true crime case. Stay safe and take care.